explosive behind the backs from NBA 2K20 are back in NBA 2K24. Momentum spamming is back in NBA 2K24. The LeBron step back is back in NBA 2K24. There's a new badge called Bulldozer, and it's kind of insane, but it can only be used by tall guards, and it goes off your strength rating. My small guards get a badge called Blow-By that does the exact same thing, except you don't need strength because it goes off your speed and acceleration ratings instead. Walkbacks are back in NBA 2K24, and they look even faster than before. Stop and go speed boosting to the same side is back in NBA 2K24. However, this year the speed of the speed boost varies depending on which animations you have equipped. If you think 6'8" builds are gonna be too tall and too slow to be viable this year, you are 100% wrong. And finally, this is how long you can spam dribble moves before you lose your entire stamina bar. You just learned 10 things about NBA 2K24's gameplay in less than a minute. Imagine how much you'll learn if you watch the whole video. Drop a like in the next 5 seconds or your opponent will hit you with this move for game, your first part game on NBA 2K24. I wouldn't risk it. Yo, I'm not tripping. In real life, this is a travel, right? Let me know in the comments. What's up, Simply Squad? It's your boy, Gameplay Guru, grinding. And I need y'all to stop what you're doing and drop a question you have about NBA 2K24's gameplay right now in the comments. And if I happen to answer your question in this video, you have to sub with notifications on. And I'm not gonna lie, we just doing that for fun. You're gonna want to sub with notifications on regardless, because not only am I breaking down everything about 2K24's gameplay in this video, on September 1st, I'm also breaking down everything you need to know about the builder. And I'm going so in depth, after you watch that video, you'll literally be able to start making your build a week before you even get your hands on the game. So yeah, make sure you don't miss out on that. But anyways, y'all, let's get into this. Alright, y'all, we're gonna cover topics in order of most importance. So the first topic we're gonna talk about are the changes to Adrenaline. Adrenaline does not work the same way it did in 2K23 at all. In NBA 2K23, every time you speed boosted, you lost an Adrenaline bar. This year, you never lose an Adrenaline bar for speed boosting. You can literally speed boost the entire shot clock away, and the only thing you'll lose out on is your stamina. Instead, on offense, you mainly lose Adrenaline bars when the defender gets a bump animation on you. So I'm not gonna lie, if you're nice with it on the sticks and you're not getting clamped over and over again, I'd say most offensive possessions, you won't run out of Adrenaline. But if you do happen to run out of Adrenaline, once again, it's not like last year. On 2K23, once you lost all of your Adrenaline bars, your player would start moving like he was a grandpa having an asthma attack. This year, the only thing that happens when you lose Adrenaline on offense is your green window shrinks substantially. So even if you eventually get open for a split second, if you were getting boxed the whole possession and lost all your Adrenaline meters, you're most likely going to miss. Now, there is one more way to lose your Adrenaline on offense, and that's by using what the devs like to call a get open move. This right here is a get open move, and you do this move by tapping RT on Xbox or tapping R2 on PlayStation, and you can spam it anytime you want till your heart's content. And not gonna lie, I'm actually a little worried about this move because it does give you a substantial speed boost, especially if you're on a taller build. And on top of that, you can use it in a half-court setting, which means if you let someone get a single step ahead of you and they use this move, they're already gone and dunking on your center. It's over. I'll get into that more when we talk about dribbling, but 2 things you need to know about this move. The first thing is you don't lose Adrenaline for using this move full court. You only lose Adrenaline for using it while in a half-court setting. So that means you can use it to get up the court quickly with no penalty, but if you use it in the half-court, you do get slightly punished by losing an Adrenaline bar, which you should, because in my opinion, I think this move is gonna be broken, especially if you can do the basic spin back out of it once this move is done channeling, then it'll be ridiculously OP. And the second thing you need to know is do not be reckless while using this move. It might be an overpowered way to get to the basket, but if you plan on spamming it, make sure there's no defenders nearby, because if a defender is anywhere near the ball when you use this move, it is an automatic turnover. And the last thing I want to mention about offensive Adrenaline, my post scores out there, y'all are gonna be OP again, because no matter what you do in the post, you will never lose an Adrenaline bar. I wish I was exaggerating. I tried fades, drop steps, holding RT to bully ball in the paint. Post scorers literally never lose Adrenaline, which means they will never lose any percentage on their shot making percentages. Does that sound right to you because I personally think this needs to be changed. My reasoning for that is if guards can get boxed and lose adrenaline bars, which in turn affects their shooting, then post scorers need to lose adrenaline bars every couple seconds their back is facing the basket. Because if not, we're in for another post scorer 1v1 court meta, and that's not fun for anybody. Now that's everything you need to know about offensive adrenaline, but what about defensive adrenaline? On defense, you lose adrenaline anytime you go for a steal attempt or a block attempt. And unlike some offensive moves, you lose an adrenaline bar even if you're pressing full court. So yeah, if you reach or jump anywhere on the court, you lose an adrenaline bar on defense. Now, unlike last year, if you lose all 3 adrenaline bars on defense, you don't start moving like a turtle. Instead, all it does is significantly reduce your percentages of getting a steal, block, or quality contest. So yes, you'll still be able to rotate just as quick as you would have if you had all 3 adrenaline bars, but you'll be less effective at getting a stop once you get there. I personally love this change because it gives an effective reason for lockdowns not to be spamming X or square all possession, but it also doesn't limit the defense so much that if they do get greedy and reach 3 times, they're not just completely useless and out of the play. I personally think it's more realistic and it is a great change. Now the question you've all been asking, does strength actually matter? And the short answer to this question is yes, but not for the reasons you think. I'm sure you've all heard or been saying something like all the YouTubers that went to community day last year said bully was gonna be insane and that strength would matter, then strength didn't do anything. And you're 100% right, but this year strength does matter, but not because it'll affect the gameplay heavily. Strength matters this year because the rating is super important in this year's builder. Now I am limited on what I can say here because this is sort of approaching on builder news, which we're not allowed to talk about until September 1st, but I am allowed to repeat what has already been said on Twitter. So if you're planning on making a lockdown, a center, or a slasher build this year, you will 100% need strength. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you do not upgrade strength on your lockdown, slasher, or center build, you are at a massive disadvantage. And once again, it has nothing to do with gameplay. I'm gonna tell y'all something right now. Nobody that went to community day has any idea if strength will actually affect gameplay or not. And if they say they do, they are gassing it. The reason I'm saying strength matters this year is strictly because of the builder. So to recap, if you're making a lockdown, a slasher, or a center, plan in your head that you're going to be upgrading your strength rating. And that's because to unlock certain things in the builder that are super important for those positions, you are going to need strength. And again, on September 1st, everything I know will be everything you know. I'll be able to fully explain why strength matters in excruciating detail. Trust me, I got you. So if you want to know exactly why strength is going to matter for those builds, make sure you sub with notifications on for my builder breakdown video. But for right now, just know if you're not making one of those 3 builds, you will be fine not upgrading your strength. Other than one specific exception to this rule, and that build will actually be the first build video that I drop, so I can explain why this one particular point guard build will need its strength upgraded as well. So now you know that strength matters for certain builds because of the builder, but will strength matter gameplay wise? Like I said, nobody knows. Think about it, y'all. We played against computers. So yes, there were times when you'd get ridiculous bulldozer animations and times you could back someone all the way down in the paint. But I'm being 100% transparent when I say this, none of that matters. Think about last year. We seen the same bully animations against the same CPUs, and we all got hyped and wasted our money making bully builds when they all suck. I'm telling you, don't waste your attribute points trying to get Hall of Fame bulldozer unless you are making a pure slasher build or a pure inside. At least not until we all get our hands on the game and we can test the badge out online. Alright, now that we covered the important topic of strength, the next important topic is dribbling. How does the dribbling feel this year? In my personal opinion, I think the dribbling on this game has so much potential. We were using NBA players who historically usually have terrible SIGs equipped, and I still managed to find some major gems of dribble moves. I'm gonna tell y'all every single dribble move you need to be on the lookout for, whether you're a tall guard or a small guard, but first let's review all the cheesy moves that are back in the game. Momentum spamming is back in the game, LeBron step back is back in the game, the explosive behind the back from 2K20 is back in the game, which is insane, the same side stop and go speed boost is back in the game, walk backs are back in the game, and on top of all that, you can spam for days with mad stamina. stamina. Which, spoiler alert, because I know y'all don't know this, all of your builds will have a ridiculously high stamina. Once again, because the builder rewards high stamina. So yeah, assuming there's not going to be a dribbling patch on day one, once you get your badges, you will be able to spam dribble moves for sure. Now with all that being said, I can't see a way where all these glitchy cheese moves are back in the game and dribble combos just aren't fire. For that to happen, they would have to limit us somehow by like making certain moves not be able to be equipped together, and they've never done that ever. So in my opinion, I think and am hoping that dribbling is gonna be insane this year. Listen, I just don't see a world where all these glitchy moves are allowed and Steezo doesn't go crazy for us and figure out all the glitch dribble moves. But for right now, some SIGs you need to be on the lookout for is first, everything D'Angelo Russell. His dribble moves on his actual NBA player are absurd. I can't imagine when you combo them up with other SIGs like Steph Curry and Trae Young. I'm calling it right now, D'Angelo Russell is gonna be the meta SIG for at least one dribble move. Whether it's his ridiculously fast through the legs that reminds me of the one I spammed on my 2K19 stretch big, or if it's any of his other stupidly fast speed boost moves, anything D'Angelo Russell, you need to be equipping if you can. I'm telling you, it's a safe bet. Now, my guess is that they're gonna gatekeep his OP moves and only let 6'4" and under guards use them. So for my taller build, LeBron and Giannis's through the legs move is also insanely fast. Now, I'm not gonna lie, old head LeBron SIGs in general just seem really good for a 6A build. I'm sure there'll be better ones down the road, but in the beginning, you can't go wrong equipping LeBron's step back and his through the legs move. Both are goated for sure. Other than that, Curry's dribble moves are insane as always, and you can actually spam them back and forth with no hitch or stop once you get the hang of it. I have a feeling small guards are gonna have a lot of fun with the dribble moves this year, bro, because again, the small NBA players are looking fast. Imagine a maxed out speed 6' to 6'4" point guard running around doing these dribble moves, bro. I think it's gonna be absurd. Your speed with ball and acceleration ratings work the same as they did in NBA 2K23, which means your acceleration rating determines how fast your speed boost is, and your speed with ball rating determines how fast you'll run while you're dribbling after your initial speed boost wears off. One thing I'm not sure of is if left-right speed boosting is back or not. I was able to do it on some guards efficiently, but not able to do it on others, so it might be an animation thing. So just in case, a quick warning, look out for the small guards who lab up the best SIGs on day one, cause they might be dangerous with a left-right speed boost. Alright, so we've covered adrenaline, we've covered strength, and we've covered dribbling. Now we're gonna cover the overall game and some things that I noticed. The first thing I want to talk about here is paint defense. I purposely avoided this topic because I'm not sure how I feel about it. The green or miss layup timing and green or miss dunk timing sounded great in theory, but after playing the game, they might be a little overpowered. So if y'all don't know, the green window on your green or miss dunk rating and layup rating are determined by a factor of things. How open you are when you're attempting it, what type of badges you have, what your ratings are, that all factors into the size of your green window. So hypothetically, if you make a tall slasher build, give it all Hall of Fame finishing badges, and have a high finishing rating, your layup green window will be huge no matter who's in front of you or what badges they have equipped. Now, if I was only speaking about the computers, I wouldn't be too worried about this. But as y'all know, we were allowed to play rec against each other, and I happened to test out one of those builds, and I can't go into detail, but I will say that the layups I was making were kind of insane. Insane isn't even the right word. They were kind of skillless, meaning I just ran in there, held X, and got a green. Now, y'all will see what I'm talking about on September 1st when I can fully talk about it and show you the gameplay, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little worried about the paint defense this year. It's gonna be something interesting to see. I don't think those builds were like fully maxed out, so maybe the centers didn't have all their defensive badges. I hope that's the case, because if not, slashers might just completely dominate the paint. It's gonna be interesting to see for sure. I'm telling y'all, September 1st is a huge day, because once it's 11 AM Eastern on September 1st, I have no restrictions on what I can and can't talk about, and I will be streaming and answering every single one of y'all's questions and telling y'all my thoughts in detail. Certain animations that we knew in 2K23 would end with a certain result have been changed a little bit in 2K24. So for example, if you play 2K23 at all, I'm sure you've seen this contact layup animation, and every time you got it, it was a shooting foul. But this year, when I got it in quick play, it wasn't a shooting foul. So I think it's gonna be cool to see which animations lead to what what on 2K24, especially in the Rec and Pro. Another thing I tried to test out was takeovers, but for some reason it was impossible for me to get takeover on this game. Specifically, I wanted to try out the new physicals takeover because, like all of you, I am terrified of post scores, and I wanted to see how OP the physicals takeover would be. But when I tried to trade points with two centers that had high strength and would have physicals takeover, it just never unlocked takeover for me. I had 16 points with Jokic at one point, and I had 16 points with Sabonis at one point, and neither of them got physicals takeover. So I don't know if maybe I was activating it the wrong way. I was doing like post moves and drop steps because I figured that's what would activate physicals takeover, or maybe I just didn't have enough points and takeover is harder to get. I'm sure in the park it'll be like 8 to 10 points, something like that, something we've been used to, but in quick play it might be a little harder. I have no idea. It's a question that I couldn't answer myself, so you might have to look up other videos to figure out how takeovers work. I do know one thing about takeovers though, it's not like 2K23 where you make your build with certain takeovers. You automatically unlock all 5 takeovers, which are shooting, playmaking, physicals, defense, and rebounding takeovers, and activating those takeovers gives you plus 10 in a certain rating with no cap. So if you have a 99 3-pointer and you activate shooting takeover, you now have a 109 3-point rating, which is gonna make for some banger videos. I can't lie, I will definitely be doing that video. But anyways, y'all, that is pretty much everything you need to know about NBA 2K24's gameplay. If I didn't mention something that you wrote in the comments, it most likely means that I can't answer it until September 1st, but I will be reading every single comment just in case I did actually miss something, and if I can answer it, I will answer it for you in the comments, so make sure to leave your questions below. Let's see if we get 3K likes on this video, because I am putting in a ton of effort in these videos to give y'all all the information you need to know. So if you appreciate it, please drop a like. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all. I'll see you on September 1st, and as always, keep grinding. Ballin', 2K we never be falling. Rachel she never be calling. Still hitting shots while they steady be taunting. Ballin', 2K we never be falling. Rachel she never be calling. Still hitting shots while they steady be